Claire stepped into the large lobby of the Pierce building with careful steps. The floor was made of smooth white marble that reflected the bright lights above. The place felt cold and distant, just like the man she had come to see. In her hand she held a small brown packet. It looked simple from the outside, but something about it made her heart beat a little faster. She walked to the front desk, where a guard stared at her with a serious face. She explained that she needed to see Logan Pierce. The guard asked her name and purpose. She answered in a steady voice that she was here to return something that did not belong to her. The guard looked confused at her words but still called upstairs. For a moment Claire wondered if she should turn around and leave. She had thought about that many times on her way here, but something inside kept pushing her forward. After a short wait, the guard told her that she could go up. Claire nodded and stepped into the elevator. The doors closed and she felt the quiet hum as it moved upward. She held the packet close to her chest. She had found it 2 days earlier on a bench near the river. No name was written on it. It's only a symbol she did not understand. She had opened it just a little, and what she saw inside made her feel strange, but she closed it again quickly. She knew she had to return it. The elevator stopped on the top floor. The doors opened. She saw a wide hallway with tall glass walls. At the end of the hall was a large office with open doors. Inside stood Logan Pierce. He was known everywhere for his success in technology and business. He was young, rich, and confident. He was also known for not trusting anyone. Logan looked up when Claire entered. He wore a dark suit, and his expression seemed bored at first. He asked who she was and why she was here. Claire walked forward, holding the packet in both hands. She explained that she had come only to return this packet because she found it and did not want to keep something that was not hers. Logan gave a short laugh. It was not a friendly one. It sounded like someone who had heard too many strange stories from people wanting something from him. He asked her if she expected a reward. She told him no, she only wanted to give it back. He studied her for a moment. Claire looked simple, honest, and not like someone trying to trick him. He asked her what was inside the packet. Claire said she did not know. That was not completely true, but she did not want to explain the odd feelings she had when she opened it. Logan asked why she brought it to him. She pointed to the symbol on the packet and said she searched online, and it matched the logo of one of his older private projects. She thought it might belong to him. He took the packet from her hand and turned it over. His expression changed a little. He did not seem amused now. He looked confused and curious. He asked her again where she found it. Claire repeated her answer. On a bench near the river in the early morning when no one else was around, Logan tapped the packet with his finger. He said he had never seen it before. Claire felt a chill. If it was not his, then why did the symbol match his project? Logan leaned back in his chair and folded his hands. He looked at Claire as if trying to read her thoughts. He asked her why she came all the way to him instead of going to the police or keeping it. Claire said she felt it was important to return it to the right person, and she believed that person might be him. Logan did not know what to think. Before he could ask more questions, the office door opened. A man entered. He had calm eyes, a steady walk, and carried a quiet strength. His name was Aaron. Claire had never seen him before, but the moment he walked in, she felt the air in the room change. Logan turned to him with a puzzled look and asked who he was and how he got past security. Aaron said he was here for the packet. His voice was gentle, yet certain. Logan frowned and held the packet tighter. He demanded to know how Aaron knew about it. Aaron looked at Claire, then at Logan, and said it belonged to him. Claire felt her heart beat faster. Logan laughed again, but this time the laugh sounded nervous. He asked Aaron to prove it. Aaron spoke Logan Pierce's full name, middle name, and a private memory that only Logan should know. Logan froze. Claire stood still, unsure of what was happening. Aaron then looked at the packet in Logan's hand and said it carried something that should never have been lost. In that moment, Claire realized her day had just become something far bigger and stranger than she ever expected. Aaron stepped deeper into the office while the quiet sound of his shoes echoed against the glass walls. The air felt heavy as if the whole room was waiting for something to happen. Claire stood near the desk, unsure of what to say or do. She had come only to return the packet, and now everything felt strange and confusing. Logan kept his eyes on Aaron with a sharp look that showed both suspicion and fear. Logan asked Aaron how he knew about the private memory he had spoken. No one in the world should know that moment. It was something Logan never shared with anyone. Aaron did not answer. Instead, he looked at the packet in Logan's hand, said again that it belonged to him, and that it was very important. His voice was calm, but carried a weight that made Claire's skin tingle. Claire took a small step back. She felt something in her chest, a warm pulling feeling she could not explain. It had started when Aaron walked into the room, and it grew stronger each second. She wondered if maybe she was just nervous, but the feeling did not match simple fear. It felt like something inside her was waking up. Logan asked Aaron what was inside the packet. Aaron said the packet held an object that linked people through something deeper than memory. He said the object was old and needed to return to its path. He looked at Claire for a long moment, and she felt the pulling inside her grow stronger. Logan shook his head and said the whole situation made no sense. He told Aaron to leave and said he would call security. Aaron did not move. He said security could not stop him because he had not come to cause trouble. He'd come to finish something that began a long time ago. His eyes stayed on Claire and his expression grew softer. Claire looked down at her hands and then back at Aaron. She asked him how he knew her. He answered that he did not know her by name, but he knew her presence. He said he felt the same pulling inside him the moment he saw her. Claire's heart thumped hard. She did not know how he could feel what she felt. Logan stood up from his chair and walked around the desk, placed himself between Claire and Aaron, as if he felt the need to protect her. Logan asked Aaron why Claire was involved. Aaron said she was connected to the object in the packet. He said the connection was not new, it was something that existed before any of them were born. Claire felt her breath slow. She asked how that was possible. Aaron said there were links between people that did not break even when time passed. He said some people carried threads that attached them to others. He called them soul strings. Claire felt the pulling again and placed a hand on her chest. Logan frowned and said the idea sounded unbelievable. Aaron said that did not change what it was. He opened a hand toward the packet and asked Logan to give it to him. Logan hesitated, then handed it over slowly. Aaron held the packet with care as if it were something fragile. Aaron opened the packet without fear. Claire leaned forward and Logan watched closely. Inside was a white ribbon slightly worn and covered with faint marks shaped like tiny lines. It glowed with a soft light. Claire felt another pull, an even stronger one, as if the ribbon was calling to her. Aaron held the ribbon in both hands. He said it was the last piece of a bond that had been broken long ago. He said the ribbon was waiting for the right moment to find the person meant to complete it. He looked at Claire when he said that. Claire's throat tightened. She did not know what it meant, and she felt afraid, but also strangely calm. Logan asked what his part in all this was. Aaron said Logan was connected to the pass-through family. He said something that happened many generations ago, kept the ribbon from finding its place. He said Logan stood at one end of the broken bond and Claire stood at the other. The ribbon had brought them together. Claire felt tears rise in her eyes. She asked what she was supposed to do. Aaron said she did not need to do anything yet, said the ribbon would show her what mattered. He closed his hands around the ribbon for a moment, and the room filled with a soft light. Claire felt warmth spread through her chest. Logan stood still, and for the first time, he had no words. Claire felt the pulling change. It was no longer only between her and the ribbon. It was also between her and Logan. She felt something unseen forming between them like a quiet, gentle line. Aaron lowered the ribbon and said the next step would not be easy. He said the past was not finished and the bond needed to be healed. Claire looked at Logan, who looked back at her with a new understanding in his eyes. The day that began with a simple packet was now turning into something neither of them could walk away from. Claire stood still as Aaron placed the ribbon on the desk. The light from the ribbon faded slowly, but the feeling inside her chest remained warm and strong. She did not understand how a simple ribbon could hold such power. Looked at Logan, who seemed quieter than before. He looked like someone trying to understand a puzzle with missing pieces. Aaron stepped back from the desk and gave Claire a calm look. He said the ribbon carried memories from a time far before their own. He said those memories were not written in words, but in threads that connected people through their choices. Claire listened closely, trying to make sense of his words. She felt a strange sense of recognition, even though she had never heard anything like this before. Logan crossed his arms and asked Aaron what these memories had to do with them. Aaron said Claire and Logan were connected through a forgotten bond. He said their connection was not created in this lifetime, but it had returned because something about it remained unfinished. Claire felt her breath catch. She wondered how she could share anything with Logan beyond the few minutes they had spoken. Aaron explained that long ago, someone in Logan's family broke a bond that should have stayed whole. He said the ribbon was part of that bond, said it traveled through time, waiting for the moment it could return to the people who could mend what was broken. Claire looked at the ribbon again. Faint marks on it seemed to shift gently as if they were alive. Logan asked why Claire was part of this, if the mistake belonged to his family. Aaron said Claire carried the other end of the broken bond. He said she did not choose it, and she did not know about it, but the bond still lived in her. Claire felt a chill run through her arms. She hugged herself and tried to steady her breathing. Aaron looked at both of them and said the ribbon came to Claire first, because she had a clearer path to understand it. He said Logan's part would come later. It might be harder. Logan frowned and asked what that meant. Aaron said Logan would have to face the past that his family tried to forget. Claire watched Logan's face. He looked uneasy, but he did not look away. Claire asked Aaron what they were supposed to do now. Aaron said they had to follow the pull inside them. He said the ribbon would show the next step when the time was right. He said nothing was forced. It would move only when they were ready. Claire felt that same gentle pull in her chest. She wondered if the ribbon was already guiding her. Outside the office windows, the sky grew darker as clouds gathered. The city below seemed far away from what was happening inside the room. Claire felt as if she had stepped into a different world. She thought about her quiet life, her small apartment, her simple days. She never imagined she would stand in a millionaire's office holding a ribbon filled with strange power. Logan moved closer to the desk and touched the ribbon lightly. His hand trembled, but he did not pull away. Said he felt something like a quiet hum inside his chest. He looked at Claire as he spoke, and she nodded. She felt the same hum inside her. Aaron watched them with a calm expression as if he expected this to happen. Aaron said the hum they felt was the start of the bond waking. He said it would grow stronger the more they faced the truth. Claire felt a heavy mix of fear and curiosity. She had never believed in anything like this, but the feeling inside her was too real to ignore. She wondered what the bond was meant to lead to. Logan asked if the bond meant they were tied together in some way. Aaron said the bond did not control them. It only showed what had once been and what could still be if they chose it. He said bonds were not cages. They were connections that carried meaning. Claire felt her heart beat faster at his words. Aaron placed his hand on the ribbon and closed his eyes. The ribbon glowed again, and a soft wave of light spread across the room. Claire felt warmth rise through her chest and into her shoulders. Logan placed a hand on the desk to steady himself. The light grew brighter for a moment, then faded. When the light was gone, Claire found herself standing closer to Logan. She did not remember moving, but her body felt guided by something gentle. Logan looked at her with a softer expression than before. Aaron stepped back and said the bond had begun to show itself. Claire and Logan both felt the warm hum inside them growing stronger. Claire asked what would happen next. Aaron said the past would begin to surface in ways they could not fully control. He said they might see moments that did not belong to this time. Said they should not be afraid because these moments were part of the truth they needed. Claire felt nervous, but she nodded. Logan nodded too, though his jaw was tight. Aaron said he would guide them, but the choices ahead belonged to them alone. The ribbon rested quietly on the desk, but Claire could still feel its pull like a steady heartbeat. She knew nothing in her life would ever be the same again. The storm outside grew stronger as night settled over the tall building. Rain hit the windows with steady force, and the wind made a low sound that carried through the halls. Claire sat quietly on the couch, her hands resting on her knees. The warm hum in her chest pulsed like a slow heartbeat. She felt nervous, but also calm in a strange, safe way. Logan stood near the window, watching the rain. He felt the same warm pull in his chest, and he tried to understand it. He had never believed in anything like this before. He lived in a world of logic and proof. Now he stood in a dark room with a ribbon that glowed and a feeling inside him that made no sense. He looked at Claire and wondered how their lives had become tied together so suddenly. Aaron stood near the desk, holding the ribbon in one hand. The soft white glow from the ribbon lit his face with gentle light. He looked like someone who had waited many years for this moment. He said the bond was almost ready to reveal the final truth. He said the past would show itself to them fully soon, and they needed to be ready. Claire asked him what they were supposed to see. Aaron said they would see the real owner of the ribbon. He said the owner had waited a long time for the bond to return to its path. Claire felt a chill. She wondered who the owner was and why they carried such a heavy past. Logan asked if the owner was someone living. Aaron said the owner lived in a different way. He said the owner belonged to the bond, and the bond had kept her between worlds because her story was not complete. Claire felt her heart pound harder. She asked if the owner would come here. Aaron nodded. Suddenly, the lights in the room flickered again. The hum in Claire's chest grew stronger. The hair on her arms rose as if touched by unseen wind. Logan stepped closer to her without thinking. He felt the same change in the air. The ribbon in Aaron's hand began to glow brighter. The air in the center of the room shimmered as if warmed by invisible heat. Claire held her breath. The shimmer grew larger and brighter until a shape began to form. Slowly, a woman appeared. She looked gentle and calm, with soft eyes filled with quiet sadness. She had a faint glow around her, as if she was made of light. Claire felt tears rise in her eyes without knowing why. The woman looked at her with a warm, understanding gaze. Logan stepped closer and stood beside Claire. The woman then looked at Aaron, who bowed his head slightly. Aaron said she was the real owner of the ribbon. Her name was Alina. Alina stepped toward Claire. Her voice was soft and steady. She said the ribbon belonged to her long ago. She said it held her bond to someone she loved deeply. She said the bond was broken by fear and mistake, and she had waited many years for the chance to release it. Claire asked why she had been pulled into this. Alina said Claire carried the heart that could finish what she could not. She said Claire did not replace her. Instead, Claire carried the part of the bond that had survived through time. Claire felt her chest tighten with emotion. Logan asked if he was connected to the past too. Alina nodded. She said his family had been part of the bond and the break that wounded it. She said he now stood at the end of the path that needed healing. She smiled gently at him and said he carried the strength to mend what was lost. Aaron handed the ribbon to Alina. She held it in both hands. The ribbon glowed so bright that Claire and Logan stepped back. Alina looked at Claire and said, the bond did not exist to tie people down. It existed to guide hearts toward truth. She said Claire had followed the call without fear and had brought the bond to its final moment. Alina lifted the ribbon, dissolved into soft white light that floated through the air like small drifting sparks. Claire felt the warmth in her chest grow stronger, then slowly fade. She felt new peace inside her. Logan felt the same release inside his chest. Alina looked at them with gentle eyes. She said the bond had been freed. She said Aaron had fulfilled his duty and could now rest from his long journey. Aaron bowed his head in respect. Claire felt a wave of gratitude toward him. He had guided them with patience and calm. Alina stepped back as her glow began to fade. She told Claire and Logan that their bond now belonged to their own choices, not the past. She said their path was open, and they were free to follow it in their own way. The light around her dimmed until she vanished like warm mist. The room grew quiet again. The storm outside continued, but the air inside felt lighter. Claire looked at Logan. He looked back at her with a gentle gaze she had not seen before. The warm hum was gone, but something softer remained in its place. Aaron placed a hand on the desk and took a slow breath. He said the story had reached its end, but their story was just beginning. Claire felt hope rise inside her. She knew something deep had changed in her life. Logan stepped closer to her and she felt calm in his presence. The storm outside slowly began to weaken. The ribbon was gone, but the understanding it brought stayed in their hearts. Claire knew she was no longer the same person who walked in with a packet. She had found something new, something steady and true. She felt ready to see where the path would lead next.